What's going on, people? I saw They Live recently. You know, I had to think about the name of this movie, which is weird because it's sitting like right here in front of me. I could have easily just looked down, but I was like, no, I know this one. I know this one, and I got it, right? Yeah, real low bar for success around here, just so you know. Anyway, so here's the thing, right? Normally, I sit here, or over there, wherever, I do my little movie rants or whatever, usually keep them 60 seconds or less, just so I can put them in Instagram stories. That's kind of like the constraint there, right? But this time I thought I'm gonna sit down and do this like a real, well, I won't say like a real review because it's not gonna be like a real review. It's not gonna go breaking down the whole thing. It's still just gonna be my normal ranting and whatnot, rambling, I should say, more so, just a little bit longer, you know. So either way, I've had this movie since I want to say like April, and I just now got around to watching it like this weekend. What is it? It's like the middle of November now, like the 19th, I believe. Yeah. So it took a while, right? And even then, before that, I bought like shirts and stuff, action figures. I mean, I'm a Rowdy Roddy Piper fan, right? Been one for a long while now. And I'd heard about this movie, and I just like, oh, yeah, I've never seen it. I've heard it's good. That was always my response when people ask like, oh, so you've seen the movie, right? I'm like, no, blah, 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 blah. Everything I just said. But I figured, you know what? It's on sale on Amazon, or maybe it wasn't on sale. Maybe it was just a price that I was okay with paying. I don't know. Either way, I gave them some amount of money, and they gave me this in return, right? So this is like the steel book thing. Yeah, hear that? I don't know if it's real steel or whatever. But there's that. And then on the back, you got this little paper that came along with it telling you what all the special features are and all that. Anybody out there watch special features on things? I think the only time I made use of that was the Big Money Hustlers movie, because like they had like the director's commentary, which was Violent J and whoever else. That, I think that was the only time. But either way, so you know, it's got the nice little fancy box thing, right? Cool art on the front and on the back. Open this bad boy up. There's some stuff on in the inside, not a whole lot, mostly just these two discs, right? So two versions of the movie, one being in Ultra 4K or 4K Ultra HD as it says, and the other being Blu-ray, which is a weird thing to me because this is an old movie, like super old, 1988 if I remember correctly. I can't imagine anything recorded then is going to look any better now, bigger, you know? Which is kind of like the only real difference in some ways from going from like the Blu-ray to like the 4K for something of that age. Anyways, let's talk about the movie though, because nobody cares about this. Or maybe you do. If you do, you can comment down below and I can continue this part of the conversation down there. So this movie, right? I'm watching it, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, this should be entertaining, right? That's what everybody's saying. And then I'm watching it and, you know, it starts off kind of like, oh, what's going on here? It's a little slow paced in the beginning. Little like weird, awkward comedy in some ways, right? When he's in that office trying to get a job and all that stuff, you know? And things are just kind of moving along. It's the acting in it wasn't like anything amazing, right? Like I think anybody could go back and say that. There were some moments where it's fine, sure, but for the most part, people just kind of going through the motions or whatever. A lot of hollow type of feelings and whatnot. But again, this wasn't supposed to be like some big A-list blockbuster for the summer or whatever. It was just, I don't know, some movie that was based on a book, I believe, right? But either way, so I'm looking at it, you know, it's happening. I'm like, okay, when's it gonna get into things? And then, you know, it starts getting into things like Rowdy Roddy Piper, like the John Nada guy, I think it says that on here somewhere. He starts going in and getting his job with this like construction thing, and then things are getting a little weird and he's getting involved in it. And it's like, he just like jumps right into it, you know, like nobody else is like paying any attention to these things that are going on right here in plain sight, just across the street. Everybody's just like, whatever. Yeah, they're singing over there all night. You know, it's a choir. Like, no one's questioning that. Like, why they're singing at like 3 in the morning, right? It's weird. And like, why no one else is like allowed to really go in there or something. So, and then it gets on into things and like, you know, he's got the glasses and I'm skipping ahead a lot. You know, he's like trying to get this guy, like, put him on, you'll see what I'm talking about. Apparently nobody can just like reason with people in this era. You just have to fight them and hope that they succumb to your will and just like do whatever it is you're trying to get them to do. So that was a little weird. Also him like and that woman, you know, like basically kidnapping her, and she gave in pretty easy. I get he's a big dude, but like she's like, all right dude, whatever. And then she just threw him out a window like it was nothing. It was like, wait a second, you could do that this whole time? Like you were okay with this, weren't you? Women can be weird sometimes. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, a lot of stuff where like you look at it and you question it and you're like, what is happening here? But then it starts getting into it. Now the guy's like, apparently an expert marksman going around killing aliens and stuff, right? It was like a whole thing. It just kind of gets all weird and stuff. But I'll skip over all the plot stuff because I assume, unlike me, most people know where this is going. But yeah, wrapping this whole thing up for the most part so I don't make this super long or whatever. The movie was like pretty fun, right? Like, again, I'm looking at it thinking, okay, right now in this era of 2024, yes, this isn't going to like blow me away. But I have to imagine that if, like, let's see, 1988, if I was like 6 years old and I saw this, I'd have been like, oh my god, this is the best movie ever. Move aside, Land Before Time, and I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm trying to watch this again, right? I feel like those are the only two movies I remember from like my youth, right? I don't even know if that was the right year. But either way, I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty alright, Was it like worth the wait to get to? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that, not like it just knocked my socks off or anything. But it was really, really fun to watch, pretty entertaining and all that good stuff. You got some kind of message in there if you want to like think about it or whatever. But yeah, I liked it. Thought it was pretty cool. I'll watch it again at some point because I have it, and I feel like since I bought it, I kind of have to watch it a few times to kind of get my money's worth or whatever. But I'm not going to say everybody has to run out there and watch it right now. I don't think I've ever said that about any movie, no matter how much I liked it. But definitely not going to say this now because everybody's probably already seen it, except me. So either way, there you go. They Live, people. Check it on out whenever you get a minute if you haven't checked it out yet. But you probably have, right? So there we go. There's that. And I'll give you a little shot of this guy. Yeah. I saw this in the corner. I'm like, I forgot about this. Like, I don't even remember when I got this, but I did because it's here. So there's that. Put this somewhere. But either way, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Up next, I'm going to talk about some Roosevelt shirts because I got a couple of those over here. Finished off my They Live pack recently, so I'm pretty excited about that. At least as excited as a guy like me could be, which is like probably like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 for most people. Later, people.